are welcome to another episode of Chronicles of a Nigerian Woman. My name is Fagbeja, and today I'll be reading Imeh's story. I have a secret. I used to be a runs girl. It was purely situational, but honestly, it was a choice. I grew up in a family of 3 girls and 2 boys. My mom was a teacher in a government school, and my dad was a civil servant. Even though my dad was a graduate and already an assistant director by the time I was in secondary school, we were barely comfortable because he was very rigid about his values and very vocal, so much that he butted heads with many people at work. He did not get his promotions when due, and he was ostracized by his colleagues. We struggled a lot financially, and my dad made it clear that he would not educate any of the girls beyond secondary school. I was the middle child and also the middle girl. When my eldest sibling, my sister, finished secondary school, he asked her to get a job and said she could either see herself through university or get married to somebody who would. My brother and I were only a year apart in age, but we finished school at the same time. My dad immediately got JAMB forms and started to make arrangements for him to go to the university, but he asked me to get a job too. I knew I had no chance, but I was determined to be a graduate in business administration, and I was very brilliant too. My WAEC grades were better than my brother's by far. Anyway, I got a job as a marketer for a milk company about a year after secondary school. And it was there that I started to realize the effect that I had on men. I got my flawless fair skin from my mother. I am petite and cute with beautiful long hair. I used to have people ask me if I was half caste. Also, being the daughter of an English teacher, as well as my natural talent for speaking, my spoken English is fluent. I was almost a natural salesperson. But my goal to save up for my education also drove me to go the extra mile. I targeted male customers and used my charm to get them to buy from me, and they always did, so I exceeded my daily targets consistently. I soon became the person who managers favored and wanted on their team. Mr. AY was one of those managers, and he managed to get me to work with him almost permanently. He was a middle-aged man who had been with the company for about 10 years at the time, and he was quite influential. One day, he asked me what a brilliant and beautiful young lady like me was doing hustling on the street selling milk. I told him about my drive to go back to school, and that was the beginning of our affair. I was 19, and I knew he was married, but he promised to pay my way through school, and I saw him as the way out of my situation. So I gave him what he wanted and got what I needed in return. Within a year, I had sat for JAMB and gained admission into Unilag. I had quit working to focus on my exams. My parents did not ask questions about how I took care of myself, and they did not have any idea about what I was doing. I wasn't close to my siblings either, so I was basically on my own. I was not naive at all when it came to men. I knew how to get what I wanted from them, and I had my choices. Mr. AY paid my way through university, but he could not give me the lifestyle I wanted, so there were others. I chose them carefully and used them well throughout my university days. I graduated with a second-class upper degree at the age of 24 and got 3 immediate job offers. I moved out of my parents' house when I started working in an oil servicing company. At this point, I decided to quit my affairs with men and to settle down. It was during this time that I also committed to my faith and became a serious Christian rather than a nominal one. It wasn't just church commitment, but a deeper relationship with God. I met Ben in church. He was a great guy, about 6 years older than I was, and he had been a serious Christian for most of his life. When we started dating, I planned to tell him about my past lifestyle. He wasn't really interested in my prior relationships, but I still felt like he needed to know. After a while, my drive to tell him started to wane. until I couldn't bring myself to talk about it. He knows I have had relationships, but he has no idea how many or the nature of the relationships. We've been married for 3 years now and we have a daughter, but I still nurse the fear that one day my chickens will come home to roost, that we will run into someone or something that will bring up my past. Worse still, I know his disdain for girls he calls homebreakers because his mom was pushed out by his dad when he got involved with a younger girl who used to be an IT student in the organization he worked with. I can't help but think that I could have been that girl. What do you think Imeh should do about the situation with her husband? Should she still go ahead and tell him, or should she take her chances that he won't find out? What are your thoughts about her choice of lifestyle? Was she a victim of situation, or was she an opportunist? Do share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my stories.